Hey guys, welcome. This is the weekly What's Up for the week of Monday, the 17th of May through Sunday, the 23rd of May, 2021. Now, so let's talk about it this way. This week, Monday, we start out with a Taurus Sun trining, a Capricorn Pluto. Yeah, so fitting. So also on that day, a Leo moon will sextile the sun and conjunct Pluto. So we're talking about earth and fire, right? So this is about practical aspects of that self, right? We're talking about the sun and Pluto and a little bit of moon thrown in there. So this is about transformation. This is about the I am. We also have Venus conjunct the North Node in Gemini. So this is a week really deeply steeped in ideas and that tendency to be analytical. Okay, so the challenge for the whole week this week is going to be about the balancing between your thoughts and your feelings. Now, we talk about this a lot, but it's really highlighted this week, and I think as we move along, you'll kind of get the feeling for that. So on Tuesday, a Gemini Venus is sextiling an Aries Chiron. Okay, so Venus, right? Love, beauty, balance, harmony. In Gemini, this is about ideas, right? We know that Gemini is all about the relentless raining down upon us of every possibility, every potential, right? And so as we deal with that, every way that we could possibly imagine to be in balance, to be in harmony, to experience a beautiful life, right? That's also going to be sextiling an Aries Chiron. Chiron being about healing and health and our wounds. So there is a possibility for some really new ideas, right, about healing or about your healing process, or about ways to begin that healing process with that Gemini energy. Right? It's kind of a big deal. And on this day also, the moon sextiles Venus and trines Chiron, right? So again, we have a little bit of kind of request from the moon to stay grounded in our personal feelings, right? And the other thing is, this is really one of the last days that we're going to have some new ideas that are really highly usable, because we're getting ready to have a Saturn retrograde and Mercury retrograde, right? So as we go through this week, make sure that the ideas that you have with all of this Gemini energy, you're really putting into action. And so with that, let's talk about Wednesday, where again, that Gemini Venus trines the Aquarius Saturn. Okay, so Saturn being about boundaries, rules, restrictions, the way that you structure your life, the way that you create your routine, or the way that you do not choose to create your routine and then it gets chosen or created for you. So the wise choice, of course, being to make the choices to create for yourself. So with Venus trining Saturn, right, this is about how we bring those ideas down and put them into action. And this is the last really big aspect Saturn has before Saturn goes retrograde. So on Wednesday, really be in that, like, just do it mindset. The moon moves into Virgo, and that's really going to allow us all to put into action those things that are bouncing around in our heads. And then on Thursday, the sun moves into Gemini, right? So you might start to have those ideas firing off even faster, which is kind of crazy. But it's about embracing what's going on in your mind and really witnessing it in terms of the potential that it offers you. Okay. in order to shift, to change, to have different ways of creating, right, your beingness, creating your self, your identity. And this opens up potential, all sorts of potential, which is a beautiful thing, especially at this point in our spring energy. It's quite lovely. And then on Friday, that very newly minted Gemini sun squares Jupiter. And it's a Pisces Jupiter, okay? So Jupiter is the ruler of Gemini. But Jupiter in Pisces is offering the opportunity to really open to the subconscious and not be bound by our 3D identity, our 3D sense of self. If you're able to hook into that depth, there is, again, no bounds of what you can create. And we have a Libra moon. The moon moves into Libra this day, and then trines Pluto, again, offering that depth of shift. And we know that squares are opportunities to balance that energy in terms of tension, right? So we're looking at the square, and we have that dynamic energy. And once you learn the lessons of both of those points on that square, then you have access to both. So as we're dealing with the sun and Jupiter, it's really about how you choose to grow and expand, and you know, offering limitless ideas from that Gemini energy and limitless access to the subconscious through that Pisces Jupiter. What a beautiful thing, right? You as the limitless. And then on Saturday, Mercury, also in Gemini, squares Neptune in Pisces. Again, so this is about really communicating those ideas that we've been having all week, really, as the weekend comes in, really being able to speak those things into existence. And so with that Mercury-Neptune square, it's really going to be important to get your head out of the game. If you're trying to communicate from your logical brain, you are going to be misheard. You're going to misspeak. You're going to be misread. You're going to be misquoted. And so definitely leading with intuition, or you're going to be pretty overwhelmed. And then on Sunday, Saturn goes retrograde for about 5 months. So this is going to be really a time to pull in, to create from our own inner discipline, right? Saturn is that planet of rules, boundaries, and restrictions. And in retrograde offers us an opportunity to recreate our own rules, boundaries, and restrictions. In Aquarius, what a beautiful energy, right? This is that self-actuated energy, supported by a Scorpio moon, allowing you access to the full spectrum of transformation. So as you work through this week, know that we're working toward the Saturn retrograde at the end of this week. And if you allow your own ideas to really be fully explored and fully felt, by the time you get to this Saturn retrograde, you are going to be able to set yourself up for a 5-month cycle of inner discipline. And on the other side of that, amazing, amazing possibilities. So we start this week with a 7 of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles. And so this is, right, about illusions and beginnings. And so as we have this energy of kind of choices, ideas, right, we're looking at that Sun trine Pluto, offering us a new way to create that resourced self, to pull those practical aspects of the I am in. And then with Venus conjunct the North Node, right, this is about how you create your destiny, how you pick and choose, right? What is a decision except a cutting away? And so as we are faced and confronted with many, many options, we get to choose. Those aces are opportunities from the universe. So those are received with gratitude and then put into action, not just stared at on the wall. So it's about really finding the center in that sun. the Queen of Wands and Death. So the Queen of Wands is that inspiration, that motivation, that, you know, the reason you get out of bed every morning, what motivates you, that, oh yeah, that thing that gets you going, right? And the Queen is the full embodiment of that. So this is about embracing it all. And with these Venus aspects, right? Venus sextiling Chiron, and then trining Saturn with all of that moon activity as well. This is really offering that opportunity for transformation. You know, death is simply an experience from one state to the next. And the best part of death is that we are always moving toward that next sunrise, right? That next phase. And so with these Pluto interactions, right? There's no limit. The only limit is you, and where your inspiration falls short of being your motivation, right? And we also know that motivation is a great thing. It's about launching an idea from its starting point, but what keeps you going is dedication, not motivation. And we have a little bit of dedication down here. So allow this to be your jumping off point. Especially as that Venus trine Saturn happens on Wednesday when the moon is in Virgo. It's really time to just do it, right? Just find those ways that you're going to make that happen. And then we have the Empress and the Four of Wands. I mean, such beautiful energy, especially with all this Gemini, right? You know, Gemini being the third sign, the Empress is a number 3. And so the Empress is that fertile ground that everything that's planted here will grow and flourish energy. And then we have the Four of Wands where everything has grown and flourished, right? Again, this is our divine union card, our twin flame card, our soulmate card, but it's also our happy life card. Look at what I have built card, right? And so as we create from our inspiration and allow things to transform out, this is where we end up as this giant, just standing at the ready to create from our beauty, right? That utopian ideal as we pull all of that Neptune energy from the depths, right? We have, and then we've got Mercury squaring Neptune as we create, as we speak things into existence and watch them bloom, right? It can be just that fast if you're willing to allow it to be. And then we've got the Chariot and the Six of Wands. Now the Chariot is about balanced forward motion, and we've had that really hard time moving forward, right? It's all been about go and slow down and go and slow down and, you know, gas and brake and gas and brake. Well, the Chariot is about that balanced forward motion. So it's about what you do every day. And as Saturn goes retrograde, right, it's about just keeping in motion. Without one, you veer off to the side or you go to the other way. The Chariot is about being centered and moving forward, even if it's just a little bit at a time. And the Six of Wands is a card of victory. This is a card of won battles, right? And so as we undertake this week of where do we begin, right? And what gets us moving, what keeps us moving, and how do we cut through those ideas? Well, as Saturn retrogrades at the end of this week, we will be in a great position to create our own balanced forward motion, as long as we're in touch with why we are moving forward. You know, we talked about that Mercury square Neptune, leading with your intuition, right? We talked about the Sun squaring Jupiter and really having the opportunity to create from your own depths this new sense of who and what you are. And as we go into the full moon on the 26th, right? It's a Sagittarius full moon, and this is the first of 2 lunar eclipses this year. And then on the 29th, why, hello, thank you. On the 29th, we have Mercury going retrograde. So, you know, like I said, as you're speaking things into existence this week, make sure that they're coming from that subconscious aligned, wow, depth was the word that was about to come out of my mouth. So we'll just take that for what it is, right? Again, you know, the deeper you go, the more rooted you can become. And so the deeper you're willing to go, the stronger your conviction, right? And so as we talk about motivation and dedication, right? Motivation being a great thing, but dedication is what gets the job done, right? I have a quote that I wrote for my son on, he's got a whiteboard in his room, and I said, motivation don't mean shit. Dedication is what gets it done. And that's a fact, right? You don't get here simply by being motivated to get there. You get there by doing it every day. Saturn retrograde, right? Every single day. So let's talk about this beautiful, beautiful Luna moth. My friend Sarah Ludlow loves Luna moths. Impulse, haste, wishfulness. The moth is sure the grass is greener on the other side. Moth energy is at play when we're attracted to easy solutions or anything shiny and new. This can lead to unfinished projects, disappointment, or burnout. It's helpful to remind moth personalities that life is complex. No matter the illusion, no one is exempt from the trials and tribulations of this great journey. Practice seeing life as an infinite mystery rather than wishing it was easier or different, right? So as we're talking about impulse, right? When we have lots of choices, it's easy to be impulsive about what we want. When we have a lot of inspiration and a lot of passion, it's easy to just wake up and pick something else every single day. But with all of this Gemini energy, right, we've got so much Gemini energy. And as the sun is moving into Gemini, it's going to be a challenge, right? The question is, don't be distracted by what looks like light, oh, over here, oh, over there, right? That ADHD tendency has to be reeled back. Otherwise, we do get caught up in the illusion of something new, especially when it's something that feels good, right? But we talk about the distinction between want and need and desire, right? And so this is about knowing, right, in your embodiment, how to discern, how to choose between want and need and desire. And this is successfully having chosen, right, between want and need and desire. And the way to do that is to dive deeply, is to create from the depths and be willing, Saturn retrograde, to do the inner work, to have that inner discipline, to create from that inner drive. That is the way to victory, right? That's how we create that balanced forward motion in our own lives, is that we dive deeply, especially with Jupiter and Pisces, right? It's a big deal. And not get caught up with, oh, shiny, oh, okay, over here, over there. No, dive deeply, root, ground, and definitely be in touch with your why, right? Your whys. This right here, this is your why. Why? Why am I creating what I'm creating? Why do I desire what I desire? Find those answers and stick with those answers. Why do I desire what I desire? And then structure your whole life around it. And guess what? Ta-da! That's what's going on this week, guys. We will definitely have a conversation about Saturn retrograde before that happens. And other than that, try not to get caught up in your overanalysis, right? Try not to be bouncing. Try to stay grounded, right? You're being offered the opportunity to stay grounded, right? This moon in this cup is giving you that depth, that intensity in order to be able to transform to what you desire. So take the opportunity, right? Take it. And remember that that opportunity is inside, right? Big blessings. Till then, have a good week.